All right, welcome. I forget what episode number this is, but this is my FX Buddies. This is going to be a full podcast. It may not be the full 30 minutes. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. But this is my FX Buddies, and let's see. Everywhere that I am, I'm my FX Buddies, Apple Podcasts, Rumble.com. But the most important thing is the blog, which is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. Let's see, that's where you go if you want the article. If you want to see, which you should, again, there's going to be some articles on here you should go read for yourself, because I'm only going to point out the parts that I find interesting. Okay, and we have some more really good information. Okay, so that's it. RSS.com is where the transcript is. Wherever you are enjoying this content, on this evening, possibly, because it is 8, it's after 8, but this should update for November 25th, 2024. All right, so, the right off the bat, I want to say there's some, I don't know, something's going around. People keep sending me. If you listen to my update that I did yesterday that I was very excited about, it said on Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday, Baghdad time, there was going to be a vote. And I made sure to emphasize it is the first reading. And I even said they have to have 3 readings before they vote. But you got gurus out there and internet pumpers, or Twitter pumpers is what I call them. And I'm not going to list them, because if you don't go to them, I don't want you to go to them, because it's already good news. It's already good news. They pump it up and mess it up. So no, there was no vote on Monday. Yes, and it is kind of confusing. The budget is already passed. The 2023, 2024, 2025 budget, it has been passed. But there's stuff that has to be amended. We still haven't seen the 2024 amendments, right? We're waiting for the Gazette 4782. We're waiting for that to come out. That will show the amendments to the 2024. And they're working on the 2025. So don't believe any of that stuff out there until even even if they say, oh, they voted on the budget. It's schedules, it's amendments to the budget, and it takes 3. It takes 3 votes. Okay? So I hope that clears it up. And you can go, that's why I tell people, read the article for yourself. If you read the article for yourself, when you see these very hyped up with all these sirens and emojis, right, trying to get you on that emotional roller coaster, ignore it. Then you can go, oh, that's clickbait. That's another thing they do. Clickbait. All right. So, now, today's good news is this. The title of the blog, Al-Alaq. The monetary situation in Iraq is excellent. And that's just a portion. I couldn't put the entire title, because they have to be, it's limited to how many characters. So the full title, and this is one title of this article. The full title is Al-Alaq, the monetary situation in Iraq is excellent, and our reserves support the stability of the exchange rate. Now, when you hear that now, pre-RV, the stability of the exchange rate that they're talking about is the rate that's on the CBI, which is that fake program rate of 1310. So they have more than enough to cover that, right? And we know they have enough reserves and gold and incoming investments to cover whatever the new rate is going to be, right? But see, they can't put that in writing. But I believe they could be telling them that in person, okay, in the news. All right, let's see. So this is a short. Is this the short? Oh, this is the short article. So he just says, the increase in the volume of reserves enables us to support the exchange rate and achieve monetary stability. Now, this came out this morning, okay? Here, Al-Alaq revealed the central bank will launch a new mechanism for travel or treatment transfers next year, stressing that there are agreements with 4 companies to launch a new mechanism for travel or treatment transfers. So right now, the people who travel, right, they get dollars, right? There's only 3 reasons you can get dollars, 3 legitimate reasons. One is trade, right? If you're trading, but travel for a student or yeah, travel or if you're going somewhere to be a student or if you're going for medical treatment, right? Now this was good. This also, we got 2 articles early in the morning. Well, our morning, right? From Alaq. The banking sector can only flourish with a diversified production base. Also, it was called, we will launch a new mechanism for travel or treatment transfers next year. And it's quite lengthy. See, as I scroll down here, it has 3 segments to it. But you should read it. Oh, uh-oh. Look. I messed this up. So, okay. I'm gonna have to fix that. This N shouldn't be here and that, so he goes on and explains all this stuff. Monetary stability, we basically just covered that, but you should read that. He said this in Egypt, at that 5th edition of the Arab Sustainable Development Week Forum, right? This is where he announced all this stuff. And they did show it on TV. And then even after he spoke, they interviewed him, after they come down off stage. And I think the event was over. They interviewed him. And all I could get from that interview was he talked about how important one of the main priorities of the banking system is to go digital, to digitalize everything, right? Okay, so here he's talking about how they're building economies of other countries through large volume of imports. So see, of course, other countries want this RV to happen too, right? Okay. Now, the part that I want to cover with you is under foreign transfers of citizens. He pointed out there are also current agreements with the relevant companies such as Visa, MasterCard, MoneyGram, Western Union to establish a new framework for implementing these operations, which will constitute another shift in controlling these operations. So next year, right up here again, it says next year we'll launch a new method, but it's under the foreign transfers of citizens. So not merchants, not businesses, but citizens. I'm thinking this might be blockchain. Maybe XRP, maybe just these because Western Union is already on blockchain. Years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe even 7 years ago. They were already doing 20% of their transactions on blockchain as a trial. So I don't know. I'm thinking, I know other people are just reading more into, I mean, I am too, but I'm telling you, this, right? I'm not presenting it as fact. I'm telling you, this is what I'm thinking. And who am I? I'm just no one, right? I'm just one of you guys that have just happened to be reading these articles for a long time. Okay, so they're going to get away from the electronic platform, right? At the end of this year, 2024, there is no sudden transition, but rather a gradual transition that began in 2024, where the bank's relations was transferred directly to correspondent banks without passing through other links, i.e., the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve, right? And the process has been completed with continued success. He continued stressing that more than 90%, 95, and this is probably an old number also, right? Because we've been seeing this number for probably 2 months. More than 95% of this goal has been achieved, and this process will be completed successfully within the next 2 weeks. Noting that there is international anticipation to celebrate this occasion. So, yeah, that is also exciting, right? I mean, international anticipation to celebrate this occasion. So, they had said they would get rid of the auction by the end of the year. So 2 weeks from now is not the end of the year, right? It's the beginning of December. So maybe they're going to try, right? Try to have it all done before they leave to go on vacation because they celebrate, they have different holidays. They don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, it is, sorry, let me rephrase that. It is a national holiday now for the Christians and people over there that want to celebrate Christmas. But I wanted to show you guys Sadr. The people that are in the parliament, maybe there's a small percentage or percent of a percentage that are Christians, but I think they're all mostly Muslim of some sort. But let's see. Look at Sadr. Sadr was out. Oh no. Oh shoot. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one. Oh doggone it. New stories came up. Okay, here. There's no sound because it's, I don't know. I'm gonna mute that anyway. I don't think you can hear it, but right here, this guy right here, that is Sadr. And look at all these people around him protecting him from the people who just want to touch him. They like to take pictures with him and they just want to touch him. So he's visiting some shrine for some reason. But if you've never seen him, I call him the Darth Vader. He always wears black. No, he doesn't always wear black. But see how he has this cape and it goes in the wind like Darth Vader's. So yeah. But I don't think they should show that. That's pretty private, right? But anyway, or I don't know. Maybe it's good for the children to see him keeping the traditions. But anyway, okay. So my point is, it's our. I don't want to say it's our holy time, but Christmas is celebrated around the world, right? So I could see them if they're gonna make this switch to the new rate and the new notes. You would think they try to test it early in the month, right? And then if the early in the month it doesn't work, complete it, make whatever corrections are needed and complete it during the end of the year. So I'm very hopeful, 2% hopeful for December because of all the things they're doing. Okay, so let's see now here. So again, that's this article, which I'm going to try to fix. So if you go there and it looks different, that's why, because I corrected that. But it's the article that has 2 headlines. We will launch a new mechanism for travel or treatment transfers next year, and also the banking sector can only flourish with a diversified production base. All right. So there's that. Okay, so now we'll move on. Now this here, that's Mohammed Saleh, and that's most recent what he looks like right now. Okay. Um, Mohammed Saleh commends two international companies studying market activity and achieving competitiveness. So this is a short version of the article that was out yesterday that I was so excited about. And let's see, do they have the sentence, the most important sentence? They do, right here. And achieves the integration of the national banking market with the global market. Oh, matter of fact, I'm going to put the, if you didn't see the special budget update that I did, I'm going to put it on this blog. So that would be another reason to go to the blog to see that video. I think it was 12 minutes, but it shows you the, there's no way they voted on the amendments today because they did have a session today, but it was dedicated. I'm not going to say there's no way, but they have to do things constitutionally, okay? So if they put out their agenda for their parliament session of what it's going to be, if they try to change a paragraph of that, the people who want to hold up progress, they will make it a federal case. Remember, people used to say they're making a federal case out of that, but they literally will. So they can't do things spontaneously because the troublemakers will find any little way they can to prolong things. All right? Okay. So, yeah. So I'll put the short update that I did yesterday. It'll be embedded here right before the last article. All right, so look at here. National Bank of Iraq wins the Excellence Award in Financial and Technical Innovation and Digital Leadership for the year 2024. So you could read about that. Here, they're working on this. Washington says this word here in Lebanon may be announced within hours, but again, this was this morning. So I don't know if it happened or not. I don't see an update. Oh, you know what? I take that back. There was an update. Okay, and we'll get to that. Here, this is Washington trusts Iraqi banks, and the ambassador talks about attracting investments. Who's the ambassador? Alina Romanowski. However, supposedly she's on her way out. Maybe it'll really happen this time. They had already announced she was done. They had already announced her replacement. But it's been a few months and she's still there. But over the weekend, she did like her goodbye rounds. So maybe she really is leaving this time. And she left with some positive words. Here's Sudani. Iraq must always be at the forefront. So he gave a speech, really compelling, very proud nationalism, right? It was the 100th celebration of their Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they had a ceremony that was really nice. It was outside, it was nighttime. Yeah, I did watch it even though it was in Arabic. But anyway, let's see. So yes, you could read that if you like. Okay, this is pretty good too. Focus on the banking sector. Does he look familiar? Yeah, he's that economist who uses kind of a high level vocabulary and writes really long articles. However, this one's really not that long. So he says, it's titled Focus on the Banking Sector. And he's written, I think that's like a series that he's doing because this is the same title, but it's a totally different article. But yeah, so he's talking about that and he says this comes amidst a noticeable shift in attention towards the banking sector through the government's allocation of significant time in light of its enormous responsibilities, which means its awareness that all economic activities, including the implementation of strategic projects and means of encouraging investment, require a solid banking sector to implement its economic programs. Okay, then look, it says moral support. But this here, the month of October of this year, witnessed many important meetings between the government and representatives of the banking sector, which discussed the requirements for activating banks. What do you mean activating banks? Activating them to do what? So, I don't know. And it doesn't really get more detailed than that either, but it does talk about stimulating the economy and help in diversifying sources of income as a final product for banks and correcting the structural distortion in the economy. So all of these words, but here, look at there, and it's transition from a rentier economy to a diversified economy. And remember that article yesterday talked about moving to a competitive market, right? So it's like little tiny pieces coming together. So I would say you should read that article, but I do realize his writing is kind of hard to read. But anyway, and I pointed out what was most beneficial. Okay, I think, is this the last? Yeah, so this is the last article. So when you come to this before right before this is going to be the video that I talked about. Okay, so ceasefire between Lebanon and Ice Cream Land begins tomorrow. But this guy right here is angry. So guess what? I bet you it's not going to begin tomorrow. But we'll see, right? So yeah, they've been working on it all week behind closed doors and telephone calls and everything else. So we'll see. Wouldn't that be nice to have peace on earth on Thanksgiving? Which they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Iraq. I do know that. But anyway, all right. So again, I hope this helps. I forgot to close out with accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Yesterday on the little short update that I did, because I did intend to come back and do at least one other, but it didn't work out. So now you're all caught up for the day. I mean, there's still lots of kablooies going off. Oh, as a matter of fact, if you are not paying attention, nope, that's not it. Nope. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, it's cut off. Shoot. Oh well. I'm sure you can tell there's an E that should be here and an A that should be here. After America and Britain, France allows that other country, starts with a U, to launch long-range projectiles. So if you're not paying attention to that, you really should, because that also plays a hand in my opinion, right? That also plays a hand in the seemingly delay, right? Because I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna say if you're on my timeline, but my timeline has recently been stretched again. Um, so we'll see. But anyway, yeah. So we'll see. And so I'll probably do another post tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Tuesday, right? But if there's anything good, which I'm hoping there's more good news about the money or the rate or something more good news about the ceasefire, which actually should be in everyone's world news, right? If you go seek out world news, you would think that would be there, right? Because it's important. But I know some people don't want to focus on that. I mean, I wouldn't. If I wasn't in this, I would just go, oh, Lord, handle that, right? Lord, I'm casting my burdens at your feet, Lord, right? But since I'm forced into reading all these articles and seeing how we're all so closely linked now, right? It makes you have to be knowledgeable on things you probably wouldn't want to be. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here because now I'm just rambling. But I hope this helped. Again, I really wanted to diffuse the hype that's coming from some gurus and internet pumpers about, oh, they passed the budget. No, it's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Baghdad time. I'm not sure what time that is, but go to the Google and you can get the time in your time zone that's equal to 11 a.m. Baghdad time. All right, so if there's a join, follow, like, subscribe, whatever type button, wherever you are enjoying this content, go ahead and activate that. Do whatever action is necessary to activate that because I don't update regularly. So if you do that, when I do post, if all things work as they're supposed to, you'll be notified when I do post. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.